And I always felt like something was missing. Like, because we would go to church, or mass is what they would call it. We would go to mass in and out in an hour. And I was just like, something feels like it's missing, right? And when I got older, and I was probably in my 20s or something like that, I went to a Christian church. And everybody who knows churches, a Catholic church and a non-denominational Black African church with a bunch of West Indians, is a completely different ball game. So that's where I ended up. So I went there, and the pastor, we called him the apostle. The pastor that was there, he was a dynamic teacher. I will never take that from him. He was a dynamic teacher. He could teach his ass off. And he taught life skills. He did. He taught life skills using the Bible. And a lot of preachers do it too. And I would watch him, but I still felt like something wasn't being told to me. I just felt like something wasn't being told to me, because he talks about the L factor, where God gives it to him and then he gives it to us. And I was just sitting there, and it just didn't sit well with me. And I was just like, why do I have to go to someone else to get my message? He has a whole bunch of people. That's a lot of people to get messages for, and I was just like, I don't understand how that works. And everyone who knows me knows I'm a scientist, so we investigate it. So I was just like, something's not right. I don't quite understand like how this is going. So I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna listen to what he's saying, and I'm gonna apply it to my life. And I applied every single thing, even the submission part. I applied every single thing he taught to my life, and my life did change. My life got better. I had more discipline, more progress, all that stuff. But something was missing. And I was just like, okay, something's not right. And then I got to a point with that church that the sermons started to repeat. So the lessons started to repeat. And I was like, we learned this lesson already. But the reason, and people be like, oh, see what I'm talking about? No, the reason why he kept redoing lessons wasn't because he ran out of material. It was because a lot of the people in the congregation weren't doing what I was doing. They weren't taking what he said and using it in their life, because if you did, he would see your life change. I went from being on welfare to making like 60 grand a year. You understand? So just by applying his teachings. You understand? So, but like I said, something was missing. And I'm like, okay, what's missing? And then once the sermon started to repeat, and just things was like, one thing with my spirit team, they they're like, who moved my cheese? It's like they'll have the writing on the wall. They're like, yeah, it's time for you to go. We're winding you down and disconnecting you. It's like they just start unplugging shit. Like, nope, you don't need that relationship anymore. Nope, you don't need that relationship anymore. If that's happening to you, they're getting ready to move you. That's what it is. They're closing you out. That's what it feels like. It felt like a closeout. And they were just like, okay, turn the light, call Con Edison, turn the lights off. You understand? So I was watching it, and I was just like, okay, I think I've outgrown this, and I'm not supposed to stay here. Does that make sense? I'm not giving anyone any advice. I'm just telling you what happened to me. I knew that it was time for me to go. Not because anybody did anything to me, not because, oh my God, I ran from this, not because of any other reason, except it was time, and I outgrew it, because I was just like, okay, I'm not learning anything anymore. I'm not growing. I'm going to be stuck here. And I didn't like where I was. So I was like, okay, I left, and I was lost for a while. Not, I wasn't lost. I was loading. I was loading for a while, and it was just like spiral.